Good afternoon. Today we'll be talking about Major General Norman Cotta. Norman Cotta was born in Worcester, New York, where he attended the Worcester School. In 1913, he was accepted to the West Point Military Academy, where he graduated 2 years early in 1918 for the First World War. After World War I, shortly before the end of World War I, he was promoted and sent back to West Point as an educator and a teacher. He was, at that same time though, unfortunately charged with a robbery of $43,000 from the local financial institution. He took that to Congress and got a result. He went to Hawaii, where he went to the General's Staff and Training School, graduated in 1927. Afterwards, he went to the Army School for War, Army War College, sorry, say that right. The Army War College in 1938 is when he graduated there. He is mainly known for a few of his quotes and his most memorable action, which is on Normandy. He was a major planner of the Normandy invasion, and he preferred a night invasion or an early morning invasion. Unfortunately, the more important generals decided that a daytime invasion was better, so he was stationed outside of the attack range, but he saw his men going on shore. He was ordered not to go on shore, but he saw his men being cut down, so he himself ordered his boat and went on shore with his men. He looked around, standing straight up as the guns and bombs were going around. He walked around on the beach, and he found a few of his men and rallied them together. They went up Dog Hill. Halfway up Dog Hill, a few of his men in front of him, they were gunned down due to a hidden machine gun nest. After that, he looked down at the beach and looked up at the machine gun nest, and one of his most memorable quotes was, "Men, we are dying on the beach. Let's go die up on this hill." He led that charge, and none of his men behind him, because he was in the lead, none of his men behind him died. They took over that machine gun nest and took that hill. After that, he was promoted and given the 27th Infantry. Shortly before they got their first orders, they were given the chance to go to Paris and celebrate in the liberation of Paris, which you may have actually seen some of the imagery of them marching down through Paris. After that, he goes to a battle called Herzfeld Battle. It's a forest out there in Germany, where he unfortunately loses 23,000 of his men. He does not take into account the terrain. He thinks the terrain is too rough, and he thinks that the hills are too high, the forest is too deep to send his tanks and his men into that. So he holds back. The Germans push, and he loses his men in that battle. He is, and I like to use the word chewed out from a Quintino movie, but he was chewed out by his generals, and he gets to keep his rank and men, but he is never really seen the same again by anybody, not by his men, not by his generals. He then does retire in 1971. No, I'm sorry, he retires in 1946 and then dies in 1971 after writing a few books. He is buried in Arlington National Cemetery next to his wife, and that's pretty much it. I'll leave you with a little note. His quotes that is still being used today is when he did find his men on the beach and he rallied them. He asked them what group they were with, and they yelled, "Rangers." Well, Rangers lead the way, and that's still used as the model today.